Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Before we get started, we actually have a couple of polls that we would like to have you look at. If you don't have the chat box open on the side of the presentation screen, at the top you'll see a chat bubble next to a couple of other icons at the top of the screen. If it's not on the right side of your screen, just click on that and it'll open up the chat box. And if you wouldn't mind selecting a couple of answers from these polls, there's a few there on the side. You can just scroll down. That will give us a better idea of the experience level and sort of what everyone's looking to learn, and we'd appreciate that. And then we'll get started with the webinar presentation in a few minutes. Good morning, and thank you for joining Wilson Electronics and Petra for a webinar discussing vehicle cellular signal solutions. As I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, if you weren't on, we do have a poll that is in the chat section of this presentation. And if you could select one of the answers from the 3 different polls. If you don't see those polls, you can click on the little icon at the top of the screen. It looks like a chat bubble, and that will open it up. So, I appreciate you taking the time to answer that. It gives us a better idea of the audience, and then we can look at that and answer some more questions. My name is Jeff Young. I'm with Wilson Electronics, and I appreciate Petra offering the time for us to get on today with some customers that are interested in learning more about the vehicle solutions for cellular signal boosting. So we'll just start with the presentation now. And if you have any questions, you can put those in the chat box to the right of your screen, and we'll answer those at the end. It looks like a few of you already have some experience with Wilson, but the ones that haven't talked or heard of Wilson before or worked with Wilson, just let you know that we are a manufacturer of cellular signal amplification solutions for commercial buildings, vehicles, and residential homes. And so we are located in St. George, Utah, and we've been manufacturing RF and signal boosters for over 50 years. We have many patents. We work with the FCC and the national carriers. And so we are the leader in this market. We have a lot of different solutions. All of our solutions work with all carriers and all devices. So you'll see the slide. If you have AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, if you have phones, laptops, hotspots, or you're in a vehicle, or you're in a home office, commercial building, any of those, our solutions will work with those. We have specific solutions that work with vehicles, so we're going to get into that in just a minute. As I mentioned, today's focus is on vehicles, so that will be the commercial fleet and consumer vehicles. There are actually several different types of solutions for that will that are customized for the type of vehicle and also the type of installation that a customer is looking for. And so we'll talk a little bit more about the differences of those. We also have the commercial, small, medium business solutions, residential solutions, and even IoT solutions. So if you want more information on those, please let us know and we will get with you on that information. So why choose Wilson? Our brand is called weBoost for the vehicles. We invented this market. We invented the technology that allows us to take a signal and amplify it within a vehicle while it's on the move. And if you're working with Wilson, we have US-based manufacturing and customer support. If you have any questions and need help, you can contact us. And we stand behind our products with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So for some reason you're unhappy with it, you can return it for full credit. And also we cover it with a full 2-year warranty. If anything happens during the use of the product and you need to get it replaced, you can just contact us for that. And all of our products are also 5G ready. So as you travel around the country in your vehicle, you'll be able to use the different networks that you subscribe to. So one thing that I think is fairly obvious, most of us driving vehicles, there are a lot of dead zones out there. Some areas more than others. Sometimes the urban areas are better, but there are also lots of buildings, and sometimes those can cause issues, spotty coverage, and drop calls. But as you can see here, just from the carriers that cover the United States, and even though they say national coverage, there certainly is there's certainly a lot of complaints. Now, I should point out one of the reasons behind that isn't necessarily all the carriers' fault. The carriers do cover as much area as possible, major roadways, cities, and such. However, vehicles themselves are, because they're made of steel and glass, they are, in a sense, Faraday cages that will block or reduce the amount of cell signal that can get to your device inside the car. So a lot of times you could try this as a test, make a call outside your vehicle, and then get in your vehicle and shut the door, and you'll see that the signal level is reduced. And certainly as you're driving around, it's even more challenging with the handoffs between cell towers as you drive. So, that's really why this issue comes up. And so there needs to be a solution that will help us fix this. And so the solution is that, we have vehicles with various types of devices, various carriers in them. That could be just your cell phone. It could be some kind of telematics device. It could be, just letting someone in. It could be a camera. A lot of people now have cameras, or if you're a business and you have this kind of information, LTE devices within your vehicle, you'll be able to have a stronger signal and use those devices most places that you drive. So the way that the solution works is pretty simple. We have an outside antenna that goes on top of the vehicle. You can see a couple of pictures here with the pickup truck with an Omni antenna mounted on top. Have a van with what we call our OTR antenna, which is a longer antenna, comes with a pole that you can adjust the height. It has a couple of different sections so you can make it taller. The idea here is we want it to be as high as possible so it's not obstructed by the vehicle itself. We wouldn't want to put that inside the bed or inside some area where it's blocked, but we want to have it on the outside of the vehicle. So that's going to receive the outdoor signal from the nearest cell tower, and then it's going to bring that signal into an amplifier, and the amplifier can be placed pretty much anywhere that you'd like it to go. It could be in the floor, could be under the seat, and then from there it runs up to an indoor or inside antenna, generally mounted very close to where your device is going to be. I use mine on the dashboard because that's where my cell phone is connected. But if you have different types of devices, you could have that indoor antenna somewhere else, and the closer the better. So we definitely suggest that you put it the closest to the device that you're relying on. So I'm going to go through a couple of different types of solutions for vehicles. We make solutions for passenger cars, trucks, vans, commercial vehicles, RVs. So there's a slight difference between the way that the devices are built, but in essence, they're all laid out the same with the outdoor antenna, the cellular amplifier, and then the indoor antenna. One thing I'd like to mention here is that our devices are very well known. The brand is the most popular brand of cellular devices out there in the market for signal boosting. And Subaru has actually we've become a sponsor of Subaru Racing. As you can imagine, they're driving through areas in which there isn't very good cell service, and they might have some emergencies where they need to get in touch with their team or medical services. So we're very excited about this partnership with Subaru, and they use it both in their race cars as well as the team trucks that follow them around, so that they can communicate back and forth. This just goes to show you we have several different styles of vehicle boosters, anywhere from a single user, like the Drive Sleek, to some more powerful multi-user devices, like the Drive X and the Drive Reach. We've got RV versions that we'll talk about in a little more detail, why there's two versions and what they're used for. And then we also have what we call our OTR solutions, which are over-the-road trucker solutions, and that could be a large rig like the one that you see in the picture above, but it's very popular in pickup trucks and SUVs because of the more powerful antenna that comes with this device, and so it's used a lot. Let's say in oil fields and places that are far away, utilities, things like that. So let's just look at maybe some applications here to talk about the versions for automobiles, passenger trucks, passenger cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. This is a very straightforward solution. Comes in a dash-mounted cradle, and this is very easy to use. As you can see here, the outdoor antenna is a magnet-mounted device that goes on top of your roof, and then it runs into this candy bar-shaped amplifier, very small, and you can put that under the seat. And then the cradle mounts on your dashboard, and the cradle actually doubles as the indoor antenna. So it's very convenient. You don't have an extra antenna on the dashboard and try to figure out where that is. This is expandable, and it will hold any cellular cell phone that's made today. So even the giant ones that are out there, or smaller ones. So this is the cradle, and it's also the indoor antenna. So that's where we start out with passenger vehicles, and then we take a step up to a multi-user device. So this would be, again, kind of a same situation. You've got the magnet-mounted antenna, the mini mount antenna. And you've got a larger amplifier, and then you have the indoor antenna, and this could be either Velcroed or taped to your dashboard, close to where your device might be, or devices might be. Some people put them on the seats or the back seats, depending on where it's most convenient. But this will allow multiple users from multiple carriers to use the booster all at the same time, and so it really gives great performance. Then most recently, we've upgraded the power on the multi-user device to the Drive Reach. And so it comes with, it doesn't show in the picture, but it comes with the outdoor antenna and the indoor antennas as well. But it's a much more powerful booster. So this is the most powerful vehicle booster that we make. And so this would allow you to get the best coverage, the best signals for your devices. Similarly, we do make an RV product. So this is very popular these days. There's been quite a boom in RV in the last year and a half for some reason. And so when people are traveling, they need to also be able to reach their family, emergency services. Some people might be working remotely. So we've heard work from home. Work from RV is a real thing. So people are out there and they still need to be able to communicate, even if they're traveling around the country or staying at a camping site or an RV park. Again, there's three components: outside antenna, booster, and inside antenna. And I'll show you the two versions of our RV kits. So the first one is our Drive Reach RV. The Drive Reach RV uses the same amplifier that we just discussed in the vehicles. It's the most powerful signal booster for vehicles that we make, and it comes with that OTR antenna. So that can be mounted on the outside of your RV and gives you a great signal throughout the whole RV. So this would be for RVs that you're mostly driving and you want connectivity when you're on the road. That's really important to point out, because we also make another version called the Drive or the Destination RV. And the Destination RV looks like this. The difference here is the Destination RV has a kind of a different mounting for this outdoor directional antenna. So directional antennas in general are better at receiving signals, but as you can expect, they need to be pointed directly at the tower. That's a little bit difficult when you're driving down the road. So we use an omni antenna in the Drive Reach, or the Reach RV. But when you're at a campsite and you're stationary, and let's say you're staying at that campsite for a week or more, you might want something like this. So this solution, the Destination RV, comes with the directional antenna. It comes with a 25-foot extending pole. And so this can be set up outside of your RV or camper. And then going back to the device itself, we actually use, this is a home RV booster. Home signal booster. So it's very, very powerful. It's really made for 2 to 3 room home. And so you've got your directional antenna that comes with the pole. Then you've got your booster, and then you have an indoor antenna, very aesthetically pleasing. It just can go on the side of the wall and not interfere with anything within that space, but gives you a great signal throughout the entire vehicle. So again, that's the Destination RV. All right, next let's move into the OTR, over-the-road versions. This has been very popular for a long time, and you can see right there is the long OTR antenna. This is our most powerful vehicle antenna. And you can see you've got an extension here. There's actually a couple of pieces here. So depending on where you're mounting it on your vehicle, you may want to have it fully extended or higher or lower. But you'll probably see these on trucks if you're frequently at truck stops or on the road. You'll see something like that and you're wondering what that is. That is a weBoost cellular booster for trucks. And you can see here in this picture, overlanding has also become a very big thing these days. This one is also using an OTR antenna. You can see it peeking out here. You'll see a lot of reviews for these, and you'll see that OTR antenna is very much a status symbol amongst overlanders and also field workers. So don't be surprised if you see those in a few places. I've seen them in parking lots myself and taken a few pictures. So like the passenger vehicles, this also comes either in a single user cradle type booster with an OTR antenna. So again, if you just need to boost signals for one phone, this is a great device, and it just mounts to your vent or your dashboard. It comes with magnetic mounts and also a vent mount, so you're good to go with that. If you want the more powerful multi-user booster, the Drive Reach OTR is really a great solution. I would say this is probably the most popular single kit that we offer for vehicles, just because it covers a lot of different ground. It's for truckers, it's for overlanders, pickup trucks, Again, very powerful booster, great OTR antenna, and so this would definitely be one of the best choices to offer your customers. And we do have different types of antennas, as we just reviewed the OTR antenna. We have magnet mount antennas and NMO antennas that are omnidirectional. So these will be used for probably vehicles, passenger vehicles, some SUVs. You might not want a big mast on there or in the antenna. So these are great antennas for those types of vehicles as well. So then next we're going to talk about the so I'm just going to answer one question while I take a quick little break here. So a question came in: how close between the amp and the device with the reach? So and then it says not the amp but inside antenna. So what we want to make sure is that the distance between the antennas is enough that you don't get feedback. I have an SUV, it's a standard size, and so my inside antenna is mounted on the dashboard, and then the outside antenna is mounted sort of towards the rear of the vehicle where the tailgate goes up, and so that works very well. Depending on your vehicle, you may, like a pickup truck, you may not have that long back part of your vehicle. So it's certainly acceptable to have it just on the roof. If you run into any kind of feedback loops, the device will show red, and that just means to try to maybe move that magnetic mount antenna a little bit farther away, or maybe the one inside, maybe move it to the other side of the dashboard. But for the most part, that is not an issue. Now, so I think that answers the question, the outdoor antenna and the indoor antenna. The amp itself has very long cables, so you're able to run that through pretty much any vehicle and mount that indoor amplifier under the seat. That's generally probably the best place, or in the floorboard. So if that doesn't answer the question, we'll try to get back to it at the end. So let's talk now about fleet vehicles. So the previous vehicles we were talking about were designed for do-it-yourself installation. They come with a 12-volt cigarette lighter style power plug, and so that allows someone like me who doesn't have a lot of technical capabilities to hardwire or set up some kind of other device to just move it from vehicle to vehicle, plug it in, run the cable to the antennas and the amp, and you're ready to go. In fact, I use mine in multiple vehicles, and so it allows me to move it around as I need. But we do have a lot of businesses out there, upfitters and companies that like to have a more streamlined, permanent installation. They want to have the device permanently affixed to the vehicle rather than magnetic. And so, as you install different types of other devices, Fleet may be a better option. And we'll just kind of go through some scenarios in which Fleet has been used. Certainly in all kinds of delivery trucks, emergency services, police departments. They do have every police officer carries a cell phone. That's now pretty much the primary way that they communicate with different resources. So if they're traveling in an area that doesn't have great coverage, it's kind of spotty, you don't want to have to drive to an area to make a call. So that's been very popular. As I mentioned earlier, utilities, they generally are working in places in which are a little bit farther away and don't have a great signal, and they prefer to have a Fleet version. And the Fleet versions, the difference here is this is a hardwired system that is permanently mounted. So you would fix it, drill a hole into the vehicle and mount it to the vehicle, the outdoor antenna, and then run it in and have a hardwired power connection. We just recently also came out with a new version, which I'll talk about in a minute, that gives you both options, whether it's temporary or a permanent installation. So here's just a couple of applications that are commonly used for the fleet solutions. We've got sales fleets. So you start thinking about who out there would need this. Sales fleets, heavy machinery. Quite a lot of these are used in agriculture, law enforcement, ambulance and fire departments. Of course, the over-the-road truckers and the last mile delivery trucks like FedEx and UPS and their competitors. Then utilities, as I've mentioned a couple of times now, very, very popular. And home services, whether it be companies that do plumbing, electricians. You can see a little picture up here at the top of this is a network installer. So there's all kinds of companies out there that are using these, and you can see all the different types of classes of devices here in the middle that could potentially be used. I don't know about that little one, but certainly there are a lot of commercial companies that need this solution, and so this isn't just it's not just a consumer vehicle kind of product. This is the heavy duty solution for businesses. And again, we're using a very powerful amplifier, the drive reach, omni antenna, and indoor antenna here. So this omni antenna again can be permanently fixed, drilled in so that it cannot be removed by someone. Sometimes they leave their vehicles in places that could be a little spotty and you don't want someone to take your antenna. So that would be a permanently affixed version. And what kinds of things are they trying to amplify? So cell phones, that seems like that's a no-brainer. But when you get into other types of devices, in-cab video, tire inflation systems, IoT devices, telematics, which is a really big one where they have different types of devices capturing data and providing information for the drivers. And then you can see there's other types of solutions here that we've kind of mentioned before. Collision avoidance is another one. When you get down to insurance policies, sometimes you can get discounts. Companies can get discounts based on having different types of devices in their vehicle, but you need to be able to communicate with it. So those are a couple of applications. The fleet overview is pretty simple. We have, as I mentioned before, the drive reach, and we offered now the drive reach flex fleet. So the drive reach flex fleet it gives you the components to either permanently mount it to the vehicle, as I mentioned, drilling it and permanently mounting it, or it comes with a magnetic disc that you can attach the omni antenna to, attach it to that disc, and then it becomes a magnetic mount. So in some cases, a company, why would they want to do that? Well, maybe they're leasing the vehicle and they really don't want to put a hole in it. And they're comfortable with the fact that it would be a magnetic mount. So they might choose to use that, or they might choose to use it magnetic mount on some vehicles and a permanent mount on others. The Flex Fleet gives them both options to do that. So that's a relatively new kit that we put together, but it's using our tried and true drive reach fleet amplifier and antennas. And then we also have the same version with the OTR antenna. So again, if you're going more towards a truck and you want to use that, that would be another option for you. And this could be mounted, to, let's say, a CB mount or anything else on the vehicle. There's a lot of places, generally on trucks, to mount this kind of antenna. We also have the Drive X OTR, which is a good performance. It's a little less powerful and doesn't have the flex version available. Both of these, all of our fleet solutions come with a 3-year warranty. So that's something that is industry leading. Then we also, let's kind of look at these a little bit closer. You can see the OTR here. The OTR has that 17-inch OTR antenna, but it comes with the extensions up to 45 inches to increase the length of the mast based on the vehicle that it's going onto. This is the Flex Fleet. So you can see in this photograph, there is just a little magnetic base, and that will attach to the NMO antenna. So that's the flex part. Otherwise, you can just use the antenna without that base and permanently attach it. This is great for upfitters and professional installers that want to offer this along with other technologies and tools that they're servicing their customers on. You know, they're building out the trucks and the service trucks. This is a great solution right here because it gives them both options. And then, of course, the Drive X OTR Fleet. So that's the OTR versions. That covers kind of a high level all the different types of vehicle solutions, from the passenger vehicles to the OTR to the fleet versions. And so just know that Petra has all these available for you. If you need some technical support, Wilson's always here to help you decide what's the best version to use. Or if you have any issues with it, we do have installation videos and we have other information. But appreciate your time today. I'm going to end the presentation in a couple minutes. I will take any questions in the chat. If you have any questions, just put them over there and I'll try to answer them now. And if you don't have any questions right now or you think of something later, please reach out and talk to your Petra sales rep and they will help you with the information. And I really appreciate your time today. I hope you're doing well. And if you have any business that you'd like to discuss, please reach out to us and we'll help you out with it. So thanks again and have a great day.